What's up, guys? Farooqi Bros here, back with another video. And today for you guys, we're going to be talking about two big topics over the last week. And let's just start right away with the movie that's performing well at the box office, and that's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So this movie, directed by Wes Bell, is a return to the Apes franchise after, what, a good 6-7 years now since War, I think, came out in 2017. If you guys know, the Planet of the Apes trilogy, two of which were directed by Matt Reeves, were extremely successful, kind of reinvigorated the Planet of the Apes franchise after kind of being on the fridge for almost a decade after the Tim Burton movie. But now it's back. I mean, the directors and producers are saying they have big plans for this franchise going forward. And based on the box office, looks like those plans may very well come to fruition. But I want to give my thoughts in review format and go around the room. I'll start first, though. For me, Planet of the Apes was a very strong movie for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I mean, I think coming off of the Caesar trilogy, the expectations were very high. And there's a lot of, and when I'm coming into it, I was thinking this is not going to be that good. Because number one, and I'm going to give more credit to Wes Bell in a second. The reason I didn't think it was that good is because of his resume coming into the movie. So I was thinking that, okay, this guy, he hasn't directed that many great movies, and you're giving him something that Matt Reeves just left off. How are you going to do well? And now with the movie out, I got to say I'm very pleasantly surprised. It does a great job kind of honoring the main trilogy while setting up something new. I do think, it's not as polished as the original Planet of the Apes trilogy. I don't think that it has that kind of crispness to it. The script definitely isn't half as strong as the Planet of the Apes trilogy that came out in the 2010s, and nor do I think the characters are quite as compelling. But the goal here is just to restart the franchise in the best way possible. So let me kind of think of some quick highlights. The big highlight is number one, the VFX is strong. Maybe not as strong as the original trilogy, but very strong, very believable. This movie has the least amount of human characters of any Planet of the Apes movie so far. So I think in that sense, technology is caught up where it can look realistic. It looks interesting. It's not too you don't get too many uncanny valleys throughout it. I think the score is good. I think it does a great job setting up this kind of bridge franchise. I think almost everything is there. That's why my overall score is 4 out of 5. I think it could have been 5. It could have been higher if it had just a little bit of a tighter script, a little more compelling characters. I think mostly when it came down to it, it became kind of by the numbers, especially in the second and third act. But just because it's predictable doesn't mean that it's not a great film. So overall, I think I'm surprised everyone's laughing so much. I don't know I've been blocked out everybody. Overall, I'm
not laughing. They're not laughing at you, bro. They're not laughing at you.
Yeah. Overall, but I'm gonna give this movie 4 out of 5. This happens near a 10 p.m. screen. We lost the whole chat here. Who's gonna go next? I mean, is Jan even available to go next? Can you go next? What time zone are you in?
Yeah, where you sitting, bro?
All right. Jump in now. What are you saying? What do you think about Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, I think I agree with most of all your points. I think it's a strong return to the franchise. Like you said, it's been 7 years now, so it has been a while. And Matt Reeves with his last two films, Dawn and then War of the Planet of the Apes, he kind of just went off on every level, story-wise, the cinematography, the VFX, every single aspect of the film was top level. And I think that you wonder, and also the ending of War of the Planet of the Apes was like such a good cap-off moment with Caesar's death. So you're like, how are they going to follow up? Will they be able to live up to what Matt Reeves left off? Will it be able to carry on without Caesar as a character being there? But I think it was pretty solid for what they did with now Noah, this new character, and like many generations forward of these apes kind of trying to bring up society themselves and kind of create their own pockets of towns and like villages and their own cultures and that kind of thing. So it's like they all have the different perspectives. So I think that was all interesting to see. I think the human element of it was also very well done. It goes a few ways, like you don't know who you're supposed to really be rooting for through the movie, but I think by the end it's made pretty clear who you're supposed to be rooting for, who you aren't, or rather who's pretty manipulative and who isn't. So I think that was all done very well. Excuse me. So I didn't really have too many great expectations coming in. I didn't have Like I didn't think it was going to match up to what Matt Reeves did, and though it wasn't that level, I think it is a very solid start to now the next era of the Apes movies in the modern era, modern generation. So I'm excited to see where they left off in the film, because they do set up the seeds for things to come and conflicts to come in the movie, in the franchise as well. I mean, so overall, I think it was a very solid job. I didn't have too many gripes today. I think the VFX was good. It was pretty smooth when you watch the movie. It doesn't look bad at all. But I'm seeing some of the clips of War for the Planet of the Apes, and I think that just even Caesar's mocap work, obviously Andy Serkis, he does a great job, but it was just so crisp. And I think some of that fell off in this film, but I feel like they're gonna maybe pump a little more into it, budget wise, for the next one. Then hopefully it'll be up to speed.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and me are both very similar in our mindset coming out of this film. We both very much loved the original, not the original, but the latest trilogy. I think we came in with a lot of excitement, but definitely interested in seeing what's Samir's opinion, because you're going to be the contrarian of the group. So I'm going to see if you live up to that right now. What did you think about Kingdom and Planet of the Apes?
I think it did what it had to do. I mean, I'm surprised at the way they went with Caesar, where they left off Caesar. I think they handled that really well with sort of mythologizing him, sort of like fanaticizing around him. I think that was really interesting. But as far as like the human ape aspect goes, I think it was pretty much more of the same. I mean, they were setting up something. Hopefully it seems like they're gonna. I think it seems like they're teasing that they're gonna try to circle back to the original somehow, with the way that both the apes and the humans are like looking up at the sky or whatever. Hopefully, like if they go in that direction, I think the next 5 movies have a lot of potential. As for this, I think it was just laying the groundwork. But I agree with Jan when thinking about the CGI of the apes themselves. I think they focused a lot on the environment, which kind of dwindled like the ape characters themselves. I hope they kind of shift from that. I mean, and considering that the director is going to take over Zelda, I think there's a lot of potential with that for that. But for this franchise, I think they really need to focus more on the apes to bring back that appeal that they had. That's really all I have.
What score did you give in the end?
I gave it a 3.5. I think it was just in between like Rise and Dawn. For me, that's where I would rank it.
You know, I gave it a 4, but I also put it exactly there if I had to like rank these movies. I think it just sits above Rise and below Dawn. And for me, War is the best, though. I know everyone debates War and Dawn as one or the other. I think Dawn overall has the edge based on the letterbox scores and something on tomato score. But I think everyone has their opinion on it. But you know, I'm with you there. I mean, for me, what makes Planet of the Apes like, and what it has become, it's almost like Teflon so far. And when it comes to these blockbuster franchises, I mean, you look at Star Wars; they had to kind of shelve themselves for years after kind of the reaction to the sequel trilogy. You look at the MCU, which is, you know, going through a downward spiral, something that Disney CEO and Kevin Feige publicly admitted last month that if you've been living, this is Kevin Feige's quote, you've been living under a rock if you don't think that Marvel's been kind of falling behind these last few movies. And we don't have to talk about DC. We're going to talk about next, but we know DC's been in the gutter for quite a few years now. So the fact that Planet of the Apes manages to kind of be this franchise that is not trying to be something like Dune, but it's also not trying to be your cookie cutter superhero movie. It lives in this between realm that I think it does really well in. I think it should stay in that place where you deliver a high quality movie. Don't churn it every 2 years. I'm okay with waiting 3 to 4 years for this one. Kind of live in that Avatar space, not in terms of box office, but in terms of what you're trying to do. I think that's where the sweet spot of these movies are going to be. And unlike most movies, I mean, most Planet of the Apes movies, they have this kind of nihilistic and pessimistic view of a world viewpoint. And I feel like it's just interesting to see that in a blockbuster where most times they come with this optimistic viewpoint, or they have like they do this kind of, you know, fall from grace and villain arc. Here you're kind of looking at just the illness of humanity kind of through the lens of the apes and the humans. I think it's just a brilliant job overall. And I'm surprised, again, I'll give credit to Wes Bell, because I was the first one, and I've said on this podcast before that I don't think it's going to be that good. I think the trailer is misleading. I think we said that. I wasn't buying into it until I saw it. And now I'm bought in. And not only am I bought in, I'm down to see a full trilogy with this cast. So for me, 4 out of 5. I think, Zan, did you give your score yet? But I don't see me get 3.5. What would you?
I would also give it 4 out of 5, yeah.
4 out of 5. Well, there you go. I mean, let's see how this franchise looks like going forward. But I think definitely a great stepping stone and a bridge gap between the last trilogy and what looks like to be the next trilogy. So let's see how that looks like. Well, from one franchise that's doing quite well to another that's trying to find its footing, let's move on to DC, and in particular, the new Superman costume. So earlier last week, David Corenswet, James Gunn, and DC, they pretty much simultaneously dropped a new look at Superman, and I kind of want to put it out there and show it right here. So you've all seen it by now, but here is the new Superman costume with David Corenswet. Apparently, according to Gunn, this is all on camera. Obviously, not the Gallic gun firing in the background, but the rest of it's on camera, and they're trying to show that this is the new Superman suit in kind of all its glory or not, depending how you see it. So I kind of want to once again go around the room and see what everyone's opinions are going to be on this new suit. So should I go first as a resident Superman fan? Maybe I should. So when I first saw this costume, my immediate opinion was like, I was like, what am I looking at? Like, and this is not that great when you think about it, because it looks cheap. And I wish I'd have to say that, because I'm the biggest Superman fan. I'm starved for content pretty much. I'm looking for anything at this point. You give me a half decent movie, I might be out here, like cheerleading it forward and being like, yeah, I can't wait to see more. But unfortunately, first it was the cast. I was like, okay, I like the main trio. I'm down with Corenswet and Bosnahan and the third one, Nicholas Hoult. I'm down for the trio. Everyone after that, I'm not sure about. I've been very public that's overstuffed. We've talked about it. But then we see the Superman costume. I'm like, okay, there's a few things that I already knew was going to happen. I'm like, okay, we're probably getting the trunks again. That's normal. We all saw it happening. But all of us from the beginning were of the mindset that we're getting this like really classic Superman costume. We're going to get something that, in almost defiance of the Zack Snyder trilogy, we're going to get something really by the numbers, back to basic, Christopher Reeve style. And instead, and I don't know about you, I don't see a smiling Superman. I don't see a happy-go-lucky guy. I don't see Superman pulling himself up by his own bootstraps in the Kent Farm. I don't see him in front of a bright daily planet. This is more grimdark than anything I've seen out of the Zack Snyder trilogy. And here it is, Superman costume. And unfortunately, and I'm rooting for David Corenswet, by the way. I think he'll be a good Superman, but everything looks cheap. The fabric looks cheap. The creases, so we've seen David Corenswet look fully built, like he's worked on his body to make it good. And honestly, in here, he looks like small. Like, I'm like, I don't know. So I'm very torn about the Superman costume. I think David's going to be great as Superman, but I'm not sure what this is. But Umar, I'm going to go to you next, because I think of the four of us, you're the other big Superman fan outside of me. So I want to get your thoughts on this Superman suit. I mean, what do you think when you saw it?
It looks bad. It looks really bad, to be honest. It looks like TV. Could be on TV, like you could have just given this suit to Tyler Hoechlin or whatever the hell the name is. So you could have, you could have gotten away with just not doing the whole movie, to be honest. But the suit itself, honestly, I feel like they did the whole thing dirty, because what's the point of releasing an image with him in this pose? For a fact that if he's sitting in this way, that's gonna mess with his like, you look at his arms, like the way the suit is going, it looks like cosplay. Like, it doesn't look like a movie suit. You know what I mean? And I don't know why they chose this particular pose with this lighting, and there's like this weird globe thing in the back, which also looks very bad. What's that thing in the back? The stupid lights and it's dumb.
It looks like a battle. It's a big battle of some kind. Maybe
it looks
villainous.
Yeah, Strauss, it looks bad. So, and then he's not smiling. Like, what was the point of, like, I think a lot of people are expecting to get like a very hopeful Superman, and if he's already kind of, he looks kind of like really sad, depressed, kind of like Henry Cavill, to be honest. But if he's already kind of looking like that, it's not the wave. Like, they're already marketing the movie in a very bad way. Also, the suit looks dirty. I don't know if it's just like me, or it doesn't look clean. Like, it doesn't look like why didn't they just take a picture?
I think that's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not necessarily a bad thing, but why is this the first picture? Like, the first picture should have been a very clean picture where he's standing a very like posture type of way, like Superman would. and have him like smiling, have a sun behind him, like do it right. I don't know what the hell this is. And he's like holding his boots or whatever. Like, nah, bro, it's not it. It's garbage.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna be
mean,
like the movie. It's gonna be garbage. So
yeah,
I
this
gotta say
makes
it
me
like
very
that. I'm sorry,
concerned.
guys.
This makes me quite concerned that we're getting a Superman movie that's gonna be like it's gonna look cheap and it's looking like a TV movie, and that's not what we wanted. You know, if your Superman's coming back on screen after so many years, I wanted something really cinematic, and I wondered the old days, you know, of the old days of good casts and big things behind us. But Zion, before I go to you, I'm gonna show all three of the last Supermans to just the last three, just as an example. I mean, this was Henry Cavill as Superman. This is how the costume's fitting him, and fine. You don't want to go with something cinematic. Let's compare it to a TV costume. This is Tyler's suit. Even for me, even this is fitting better than the Corrin sweatsuit. Like, and part of it's these lines. It looks very leathery. Like,
I don't know about that
I've
one.
seen people on Twitter. Some people on Twitter have been saying that, oh well, Mach-Can sewed from. Like, what? Mach-Can has an industrial factory making these leather suits. Like, where is she making this from? So like, it's not even like hand woven. Like, so I don't know where
it doesn't even look leather. It looks like rubber. That's worse.
It looks like basketball. It looks like a basketball. Yeah, like a basketball style material. And
not even Tyler Hoechlin. If you look at the Brandon Routh Kingdom Come costume from Legend of Tomorrow, or whatever it was, that was looking so high quality. It's like, even do something like that, you know? They had everything there for them.
Zane is 100% right. That's who's actually better.
So, Zion, what's your thoughts overall on the costume then when you saw it?
Yeah, I agree with pretty much all the points. I think it does look, unfortunately, very cheap and kind of rubbery. I think it not fitting on the wrists. If you look at the neck, it's not fitting on the back of his neck either. The folding, the creases. I know people were like, "Oh, that's how real clothes look." Okay, this is an alien guy. This is a movie. You know, you want to look pristine. You want to look. Even if Mach-Can made it, you want to have some sort of a uniform and streamlined feel that does not have. And you know, if it was like a single still pulled from the middle of a movie that you paused and you got it, then you'd be like, okay, that's fine. But this is like the first reveal. This is like you're showing off the new costume, you're showing off everything. And I think it's just an unfortunately bad picture because it just does disservice to the costume. And I feel like maybe in different color grading or different situation, it'll look better on film. But as a first reveal, it just doesn't look that great. I think the cape, though, it looks all right. I think the fabric of it and the length of it, I think that actually looks kind of nice. But again, we won't know until we actually see how it looks on film rather than just a static photo. The background, I think, is just a huge misstep. First, everybody's clowning for, you know, the world's, you know, going down, it's destruction, and Superman just sitting there putting on his boots, like, you know, like, pick up the pace, you know, use your super speed and get out there. I think it was a dumb choice. And also, the more you look at the background, it looks like very, very bad Photoshop. So it's like, I know your eye focus is supposed to be on Superman, but you can't help but look at how bad it looks like in the background. So I think it was just, I don't know, maybe James Gunn unilaterally was like, I'm going to choose this one and put it out, but it was not a good photo for a first reveal. I think they should have done it much more hopeful and cheery. I know everybody hates that thing with Superman these days, but that's what they should have done. This is the time to do that, and they kind of dropped the ball on it. As far as the battlesuit damage, I actually don't mind that. I think in the fight, in the movie, I wanted Suit to show some damage. I think that would be good.
So what is he taking a break in the middle of the fight? He went home to grab a glass of milk. What's happening?
No.
Why is he at home putting on the suit and he already has? I don't get it.
Yeah, listen, and look, yeah, why exactly? I mean, this is every creative decision here is bad, and I can't believe it. Like, there is not one redeeming quality. I can't even, at least got this part right, and I'm shocked because theoretically, this was the easiest home run. All you have to do was show him standing, bright sun in the background, you know, little Superman pose, and people would be eating it up. Eating it, even if the costume was bad, they'd be eating it up. Just who was the creative decision here? And I'm more scared of the movie because if we just get cheap knockoff Henry Cavill Superman, I thought we're getting something different. Okay, fine.
You know, I feel like they were scared to show the trunks outright. This one hit it because maybe they don't even think that looks that good, you know? If you're standing up straight and the trunks are there, maybe they think it won't look as good. So like, all right, let's have them sitting to tease it. Okay, the trunks are there, but you won't see it till the movie, you know?
And then we made a great point, like, why the destruction? Someone made a Photoshop, I'll just show it on the thing, that just the costume fitting slightly better, but that's not the point. Just make the background clean. So maybe it's just me putting on his boots, kind of like he's the working man Superman. He's, like everyone, he puts his shoe on one foot at a time. That kind of concept, I can see that. Why do it with like the world ending in the background? Like, why? What's the creative decision here? I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe how bad this was. Like, it's crazy when you think about it. Either maybe Samir, you might think that, oh, well, me, Zion, and Umar might be salty because we like the other version so much, but maybe objectively you have to agree with us. Something's off about this. What do you think?
I think you're right about both. I think you guys are salty, but also it does look pretty bad. Just just himself. I think he looks fine. Like as Superman, like his face. I think they nailed it with that. As an actor, I think he's gonna pull off the role. As for the costume, though, I think it's a strange reveal. Like it's strange to have him sitting like that. I think they were trying to sort of tease the trunks, like trying to hide it a little bit, so people are like hyped up about it. The trunks I like. I mean, the belt is fine. The cape is fine. The rest of the suit is just terrible. It looks like whatever James Gunn has done with the previous movies he's made with Guardians. Guardians.
It does look like Guardians 3.
Yeah, it was the exact same material. And for Suicide Squad, the exact same material for the costumes, which he's had previously, which I was afraid of, but I guess that's what we're getting, like the thick, padded. It just doesn't make any sense for that to be the Superman costume. It doesn't really reflect the budget. I think it looks really cheap.
Were we expecting? How do we not know when the same costume designer was there the whole time? We should have been like, let's look at this person's track record, but it's not Michael Wilkinson,
The battle in the back, that's whatever. I know, like Vegeta got it. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. He's just chilling. Can take it easy. As a super reveal, it's just weird. He should be standing. Maybe it's that they wanted to make it seem worse so that when you get the money shot in the movie, it's like maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not as bad as we thought it was. Yeah. Maybe they're just trying to lower the bar. But I don't know.
That's anti-wave. Why would you try to lower the bar? The bar's already low.
I think if you're just showing the first time ever, here's not only the new Superman that you have been waiting for so long for, but it's the start of a brand new universe. And this is what you get. I feel like even if whether you're quote-unquote Snyder cultist or quote-unquote Chris Reeve cultist or quote-unquote you want the Brighton optimism or you want something from Jeff Johns era, everyone should be angry. Who's going to be happy here? I want to know which fan base were they talking to for this, because it wasn't any Superman fan base I'm aware of, unless you're purely a gun cultist and half just like what he made. But I don't understand what about this costume is good. I'm very disappointed. That's coming as a Superman fan. I was going to give this movie a full chance. I still am, hoping something's more coming here. But if the movie looks like this, if the CGI looks like what this background looks like, it was just going to be another, like,
I don't think
Suicide Squad with Superman. It's not going to be good. Bad start to the universe.
I don't think it'll be that bad. I think it's just they probably just mismanaged the first reveal, which is hard because you're right. It should have been like a home run. Like this is the one thing you could have actually controlled. You can't actually control exactly how people might react to whatever you're doing, but that's different. That's like a whole 2-hour movie. But what's that?
What is it?
Oh my god! Also, I can't lie. Even that suit looks better than that.
I swear I was about to say the same thing.
I guess we could also just admit that we're coming from a suit that's like really good. So it's like it was already kind of gonna be hard. Like it was already kind of not gonna be like, I think it's be very tough to like live up to anyways. So I feel like that's part of it. Even if you're not a fan of those movies, like you could say you hate those movies, but one thing that they did really well was like the costume design for those films. So I feel like it was always gonna be a bit of a step back, but I don't think anyone expected this, because if we're comparing it to like freaking Brandon Routh's like costume, then it's bad. The Superman fans have bad.
Yeah, someone did a thing of like just each release of the Superman costumes, and I might, if I had to rank it of just how the reveals were, this might be worse than the Superman Returns reveal. I mean, this might be the worst suit ever, but hopefully there's.
Why don't you put it up?
I don't know.
The Superman Returns was kind of bad though. Let's be honest.
No, here's my thing. Why does it look? It's like the Marvelification of the suit.
Yeah, Marvelification, MCUification of it.
You're into like design. This should be hurting your eyes. Like, what about this suit was the right decision? It was just overly lined, overly complicated, a little bit
overly bulky
trunks, and then the symbols like, oh yeah, we want to show Kingdom Come and we want to show the 40s, but nothing is cohesive. It just looks like haphazardly put together. And Like, I don't
This
know.
is hurting my eyes.
Yeah, well, there you go.
It's the material is the problem.
Yeah.
It
If they
looks
did
like
the
Captain
same,
America
if they did the
suit.
same lines or whatever, that's fine. But it's like the thick padded thing that they do with the Marvel costumes. That's what they brought over. That's the issue. They should have
Yeah.
just stuck with the texture, the pattern, or whatever they had from before.
Yeah.
It
Which
looks
is
like
funny
Cap's
because
suit.
when we saw the symbol reveal, I thought it was gonna be like something similar to.
This symbol I knew just from this. Look at it, bro. It looks like it looks like the padded thing that they use.
It could look like a basketball, but I thought maybe it looks like the Cavill suit. Like, I don't know, but it happens. Either way, what do you guys think about the Superman costume, and what are your thoughts on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? Let us know in the comments and join the debate. From myself, from Zion, from Samir, and from Umar, we're the Farooqi Bros, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.